For a long time now, some of us have been sounding the alarm about what might happen to Disney if they continue down this path, if they continue to prioritize pushing identity politics instead of storytelling, if they continue to place pushing a woke agenda ahead of actually entertaining people. It will not end well, and we are starting to see across all aspects of this company the ramifications of those actions. Box office flops, streaming failures, parks that are nearly empty during some of the biggest holidays of the year. And despite the fact that they've fired thousands of people, that they've cut billions of dollars worth of content from their streaming service, they still can't stop the bleeding. And now for the quarter that is just wrapped up, it looks like Disney has lost another nearly $1 billion on Disney Plus. Disney Plus expected to lose $800 million this quarter. Take a look at this report. The floundering Walt Disney Company's Disney Plus streaming service is expected to record an $800 million third quarter loss. That's nearly $1 billion in a single quarter. Well, guess what? That's been the standard. The last 4 quarters, the last year, if this holds true, would be $800 million loss, $700 million loss, $1.1 billion loss, and nearly $1.5 billion loss. $4 billion on Disney Plus that has been lost in the last year. And now, with the new reports out there, Bob Iger's essentially going out there and waving a flag and saying, please help us desperately. We're going to try to sell some things to recoup some cash to actually get some money to pay off this debt because we can't stop the bleeding. Now the sharks are in the water when it comes to Disney. Disney could soon sell its TV assets as Iger says business may not be core to the company. And even the rumor that's been out there for literally years now about Apple potentially buying Disney as a whole, that has resurfaced. Disney CEO Bob Iger is rumored to be preparing to sell the company to Apple. Either way, when people look at their stock and they realize that it is nearly the lowest that it's been in years, closing today at $85 per share. And of course, this big dip right here is when it was announced that Bob Iger is staying for 2 more years. Investors were not happy about that. And even the mainstream has called out Bob Iger and Disney. Now, we talked about this article the other day. We didn't really dig into it. Bob Iger shifts from building an empire to a Disney yard sale. And that's basically what it is. They're taking some of the things that still have value at this company and they're looking at potentially selling it off to desperately keep them alive. Bob Iger shifts from building an empire to a Disney yard sale. Bob Iger built Disney into the world's most powerful entertainment company by acquiring. Yes, Bob Iger didn't create anything. He bought a bunch of things. Bob Iger bought Pixar. He bought Marvel. He bought Lucasfilm. And then he bought Fox. And Fox may have been the one that ends up sinking this company. $70 billion. They put themselves into such massive debt to purchase Fox. And now that they're suffering in the theme parks and at the box office and streaming, now some of those things look like it might be insurmountable for them. Iger put roughly a third of the company up for sale this week, declaring Disney's linear TV assets non-core. That includes ABC, FX, Freeform. He also said Disney's looking for a partner for ESPN. They don't want to sell the whole thing, but they're looking for somebody to come and give them a big pile of cash to be equal partners in ESPN for an influx of money. It's a stunning, if inevitable, turn of events for an exec who spent so much of his career working in TV, and for a company that relied on cable networks for the majority of its profit. But then they decided to change things, right? They decided to go all in on streaming. That was a big mistake. The accelerating decline of cable TV has limited Iger's options. He thought he'd solve this problem with Disney Plus and Hulu, his 2 mass market streaming services, but his streaming business is expected to register a loss of $800 million in the company's just ended third quarter. Management chased streaming subscribers at unsustainably low prices and is now seeking to raise prices without alienating customers. Reminder, Disney Plus lost 4 million subscribers just last quarter, 2.4 million the quarter before. They are plummeting, not just in revenue, but also in subscribers. Iger put up a for sale sign during the interview with CNBC. It's not clear how serious Iger is about selling the entire TV network. That's true because ABC, they do have, an NBA contract on there. It's pretty important for them for that NBA contract, so we'll see. Yet Iger's CNBC interview was unmistakably a distress signal. Disney is obligated to buy Comcast's 1/3 stake in Hulu in a deal that would value the business at least $27.5 billion. Again, that's essentially a $9 million payment that is coming due for Bob Iger and for Disney. one that all likelihood they can't afford. A sale of the TV business could fetch about $8 billion, according to analyst Steve Cahall, which would largely offset the cost of acquiring the piece of Hulu it doesn't yet own. So maybe there is that. And of course, you have the Apple thing brought in here. People going back to that old rumor. Rumors have swirled that Iger will end up selling all of Disney to Apple. It's still hard to imagine Iger selling Disney to anyone. He was always a builder, not a seller. But Bob the Builder is doing a lot more cutting this time around. This is wild to see. Again, we've been talking about this for forever. If you continue to push identity politics, if you continue to push audiences and specifically families away from Disney, this was an inevitability. But it's come around a lot faster than some people would have thought. But with these massive box office disasters, these huge budgets that are not recouping their money, it is unsustainable, especially when your streaming service that you've invested so much in is losing nearly $1 billion a quarter as well. And of course, the theme parks. We talked about July 4th being so empty. We talked about how low the crowds are this year. Families and people everywhere have rejected Disney and they are going other places for their entertainment. The news just continues to get worse for Disney and for Bob Iger. I guess we're going to see 3 more years of this dude at the helm and we'll see where it goes. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.